Good morning from New York. Today, practicing love with the language of empathy, power over pain. To feel your pain is to help you cope with it so that it's not overwhelming. And when we're communicating with empathy with other people, we are attempting to stay within their comfort zone, but still um, speaking in ways that help to heal. And healing pain um, is a process of being in the pain, but outside of it at the same time. And I hope you can get a grasp of that. It sounds almost counterintuitive. But if you have, in my case right now, I've got extreme pain in my shoulder and in my rib cage from a severe fall. 200 pounds hitting that. And laughter is one way to deal with pain, by the way. But unfortunately, when you do that and you have rib cage pain and stuff, can trigger it. The world is a little complicated. All right. But this is to illustrate this. Think about the people who are in serious trauma, a lot of pain, and severe helplessness, which amplifies it, and just overwhelming. And they pop out of their body, right? They're distancing themselves from this body, the whole body itself, because the whole body's in pain. It's so painful that they distance themselves with this sense of being outside of the body. Whatever paranormal things might be going on with that, and that some indication sometimes there is, that can be produced in the lab. Just by suppressing your sense of spatial locality, where you are. And without that, you kind of untether yourself from a sense of, being your body. So your imagination goes to taking you outside of your body. And that helps to deal with that terrible pain. And it's a place, it takes you to a place where there's a lot of comfort in most cases. Some cases it's still overwhelming and the person has a negative here. But nevertheless, it ends up improving their behavior afterwards. Uh, so it's still valuable as a lesson and still lowered pain somewhat for them. It's not as much as some people who went to a heaven, right? So, not saying that they didn't touch some kind of reality that that's kind of beyond us to understand, but we use our understanding to take us to the limits of it, and then we try to figure the rest of it out as time goes by. And they are studying these things. But don't draw false conclusions. That's the way of what I call the objective mystic. There's no reason to claim that you saw Jesus. Maybe that was just your mind, but neither can you say there wasn't something beyond that, you know, or that somebody did. Yeah, okay. Keep an open mind. Don't draw bizarre conclusions, okay? There's value in the experience, and there's meaning in it. And it's a perspective that I call the inner artist in you, which is a matter of objective fact would be at least your brain. And your brain is something that you can never fully realize because you're using it to realize it. So, self-transcendence is an attempt to do that, just like our ability, the same problem presents when we're trying to understand the universe, being a part of it, and even our observation seems to have an effect. So, makes it hard, but you can learn more and more, perhaps forever. But so this watcher, this is the part of you that can be outside of your dramatic experience, just like the person in the inner, the near-death experience. They are outside of the drama, and you're creating, a place of comfort there. And when the pain isn't overwhelming, it's just a sign of healing. And so pain can be your friend. It's like if in the right amount, it's warning you not to move this way or that way. Thinking of my ribs. So you want to have a little bit of that, because when that's removed, people injure themselves horribly and things. Pain is valuable. One comedian said, as I started to say, that he got to know his pain and became friends with his pain. When it went away, he missed it. There was a lot of truth in that comedy. Yeah, and some people have so blocked their feelings that the pain is something they seek, just to feel again. That's the repression that can occur as a result of traumas, and some people have a severe amount. So, when we're talking to other people or to ourselves, we need to have some sense of where we are or where they are, and get that right level of distance from any thing uncomfortable that might end the conversation. Well, it's hard to do. but practice helps. And so this distancing this proper distancing can occur even without words. When we reflect back on traumas, for instance, before we had language, we still had the ability, in most cases, we still had the ability to focus on the pain. We know you're there. Yeah. And play with it, manipulate it, and express it. All of these things, focus, play, and expression, are ways of helping you be in control of the pain. There's one case where was cited by someone in a book on therapy and health, that the child slammed his finger or something in the door, or something pretty serious, and he ran around, hollering and ow, 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 ow. But think about what's going on. He's very aware. The focus is there. Yeah, it grabbed his focus. But does the pain have you, or do you have it? So by his running around going ow, 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 his focus helped him to not be overwhelmed by the pain not having him. In this case, I think it was a long time ago I read this, and then you can, you can play with it too. You can do things to distract yourself, playful ways from the pain. In fact, when certain painkillers act in particular ways that are different in dealing with pain. If you have knowledge of how that might be seen in this paradigm, please make it in the comments. That would be interesting. So the kid's running around screaming, he's handling the pain, and it was pointed out that the people who did that that could apply all of these things, that they healed faster, and that children heal faster. They cry more easily. They're more apt to be in touch with and uninhibited in terms of dealing with that pain. Like, make a little noise. You ever heard the kids blasting their eardrums with really loud, unnecessarily loud music? Understand that they're coping with stresses in their life, the kinds of forms of pain, and they're blasting the pain with the music. And music can be very healing. Now, these three approaches are very similar to what you use in language, in the attempt to empathize with either yourself or someone else in effective ways. The focus ability evolves into an ability to have objective empathy. So objectivity, from your inner counselor can kind of help. You deal with the drama in your life, fears of the future, present, looking into the future mostly, or thinking about the past. And that's borne out in therapies that use a kind of talking cure that, the therapist is just being a counselor, helping you with your counseling skills. Yeah, see, I see it more like a mystic. It's training. What they're doing is they're training people in important ways so that they can do it themselves. I think it should at least be encouraged. And the practices that we talk about here on the channel are ways of doing that. It's, in other words, role play. Um, and I'll talk about the three basic focus, expression, and playfulness aspects again in a little while. Another way of challenging, being in the right comfort zone with pain is having a part of you that's outside of you and your drama, outside of the story of your life, the sense of timelessness. And remember, people with near death experiences say they experience time in a different way, and or that there's no time. Well, your inner artist is a part of you that dwells in a place above the drama of your life, outside of your dramatic timeline, your sense of past, present, and future. It's able to freely navigate both. Notice the near-death experiences, they have life reviews a lot of times. So the past is there as if present. They're reliving it, sort of, and but from a distance. Now, this kind of creative empathy is what you see when people do guided meditations, except in your own role play, you are the inner artist communicating to your dramatic self or your kid, your more emotional self, the one experiencing all the drama directly, more directly, or survivally connected. You're communicating by giving yourself guided meditations that are appropriate to helping you find that right comfort zone for healing. And healing is a force. Find the right zone, healing starts to happen. So, that's something that, well, the kid expresses your feelings in the dramatic experience of your life at the time. And or your memories of things that still hold you in the past, trauma in the past. And then your inner artist creates guided meditations to help. Now, an example of this was President Jimmy Carter's now late sister, Ruth Carter Stapleton. She married. She had something she called gift of inner healing, where people would present to her their sufferings, and she would create memories, and play with memories in the past. putting Jesus or her thing was Jesus, putting Jesus as a comforting figure into their experience. In one case, a lady talked about being traumatized by a robbery in her home when she was a child, and she hid under the bed. She helped her bring that into a healing zone by having her imagine the whole thing again, but this time under the bed, she was holding hands with Jesus, and Jesus was telling her everything's going to be all right. That helped her to put that in the past, to heal it. And, it's very, very, very important skill. And you can develop it in yourself. This is the whole point here with, me being an objective mystic. I mean, do it yourself as much as you can. If you're looking for outside assistance, that can be good. In some cases, it can be bad. If you become dependent totally on somebody else, then you're not raising either your self-esteem or your, in other words, your sense of being in charge or having an agency over your own life, which some will argue is a total illusion. And they may be correct, but illusions are something that is our interface with this mysterious universe. That's how we cope. For instance, you have many selves in you, so to speak, personalities, or what could be personalities, like I'm talking about here. But there's an integration of them so that you have this sense of personhood that develops in social circumstances. The bad part of that is that society is telling you who you are. In the mystic path, you're finding out who you are, and you're being able to create the person that you want to be. Right? Your inner artist, the creator of all you imagine to be. Your interface with the mysterious universe, which you are also a part. Now, compassionate empathy is another way in which we cope with pain. My father, I've said this, you'll probably heard me say it if you've been listening. My father said that when he lost a dear lady friend, the things that they tried with him to get him to feel better, kind of playing with the whole thing, she's in heaven, blah, blah, blah. That would really help me. What really helped me is one lady who he said, touched him lightly on the shoulder and said, "I'm sorry," with real feeling. That's the communication of compassion. That's compassion and empathy. And that's what did it for him. It put him in the right zone for healing. Whereas the other things, not so much. But they are ways of helping a person to cope. But you kind of need all three. So the way you practice communicating with your own ability to have compassionate empathy is to talk to people that you care about or who you should care about, and to people who care about you or who should have, whatever. Um, and that's very helpful. And remember, I said that when you talk to your inner counselor, you're helping yourself with from where you are looking forward. Now, in that communication, you may talk about the past as part of the discussion, but you're not reliving. Compassion helps you to relive and to express your feelings, to feel safety to express your feelings, which is very important. So, and when you're talking to people who care about you or should, you're in the role of the dramatic self, the kid. When you're talking to people that you care about or should care about, you're in the role of the caregiver. That's how that works. So yeah. Now let's go back down to focus, play, and expression. Well, compassion is what helps with the expression, and what helps with focus is objectivity. That's language based more. It's a skill that's built on top of its early skill. And the ability to be playful is helped by the ability to create play, the creativity, creative. But just an awareness of the discomforts or pains in yourself using focus, play, and expression are still a distancing that can help, and they will help on a level that connects to what I call your infant mind, the part of you that, or the time that you existed when you had no language. And memories are sensitive to what's being triggered. So you may come to relive and experience things from when you had no language and heal, but in non-language sorts of approaches. So focus is helped by a kind of mindfulness of all of the feelings and the sensations and the emotions that you're having without reference to any labeling, just focusing on what you feel. That's how that's done in this system. Well, now let's go to expression. To express without using words, and to truly express the depth of what you're feeling, it's useful to have these sounds that can be elongated. Remember the kid running around going, ow. Similar. And that's an okay one to use. But what I find is that ah, ooh, can be used, and all of these things can be used in positive, to get in touch with positive feelings as well as negative. Don't leave positive. So you find your comfort zone, your healing zone. And so when you're in trying to express, then you can just use and emotionalize it. Or positive if that helps you. Ah, ooh, mm. That can help you to express feelings from before you had. And if I found that if you draw it out, it starts to lap over into language. If you do and if you shorten it more, it seems to fall more into the infant mind. Oh, oh. Yeah. Unless you practice these things, that they can seem a little silly. But face your silliness. Children are not afraid to be silly. But adults get rigid. Well, they don't heal as well, too. It's too serious. Afraid to be silly. Everything's up in the air from being silly, but then they love comedy. So, anyway, that's how you deal with that. Now, when it comes to being playful without your feeling, I find it useful to use what the Pentecostals do and many other forms of religion where they babble basically, but not like they do. Don't do that. But if you create sounds yourself, which is better than a mantra, which helps you fall into the infant mind by the repetition taking away all the sense of meaning. But if you're making up the sounds, your mind is very much from and um, and music. There's a vibratory kind of effect that can be helpful with physical pain. And it also is the gateway to beginning the other practices because it's closer to language. And from there, you spring into being your own inner artist, creating new experiences. It's a nice place to begin. For some people, just the counselor and the kid communication is the easiest thing for them to do. It's been helpful with people that have suffered some serious mental disturbance. And this is something that was used by an analytical couple with the name Janoff with an F instead of a V. Both of them were psychoanalysts. They helped people who they described as having a form of psychosis by having them divide between an objective adult and a feeling kid and having a communication, which is our practice. It helps a lot. And they found it very effective. Whatever works for you, because it's your pain and your comfort zone. Someone from outside, you can cross the line of, you need the patient. You need their patient. This is, or your trainee in the case of Intermind communication application, to be involved. And if they're not, you're setting up a kind of dependency, and it's also clumsy. I mean, I do not know exactly what you feel and what exactly your comfort zone is. I test it out when I'm talking to, watching your face, seeing your reaction, listening to what you say. However, I can't know it as intimately as you do. So be careful when you're looking for a caregiver of any kind who wants to be your inner artist, your counselor, caregiver, period. I know better than you do. No, they don't. That's my big problem with a lot of the therapies out there. No, they don't. And there are things that are in you that because of society and its craziness, and there are things in you, things that you will finally find remorse for and overcome, be born again, a new kind of person, that you should never tell anybody because they can leak it. Come on. There's some things that you need to keep private yourself. So the ability to practice these things on your own is very helpful. If you find somebody you trust a lot, you can share them. Remember, you're taking a risk, and they can't totally guide you. You have to guide yourself, because you're the one who's actually feeling this stuff. Okay? They're not. They're looking at you, trying to empathize with you. But do they? And of course, with a surgeon, of course, they're not doing that at all. In fact, a little sociopathy. This is, they say it's a little helpful with that job. So don't go to extremes with this thing that I'm presenting to you. Always keep a little doubt about everything. If you don't, you're not a thinker. You're just a foul. Whatever is told you. The way of the objective mystic is not that. It's liberating. It makes you your own person. It makes you a person who can enjoy their life story more. Change it. But this is all in the mysterious practice, communicating with that part of you outside of your drama, your own inner higher power. So, let's give a little example. Today, I had a great deal of pain. I try not to take too much painkiller as I'm feeling damage. And it was getting intolerable again. So, first thing I did, I took a Tylenol and a Motrin. And the second thing I did was, which probably should have been, well, I did a little bit, but I got serious with it after that to help the process along. So I used I use these basic techniques because it's physical pain, you know. So I've focused on the pain, which can be helpful in of itself. I can get rid of tension headaches, boom, with this. Remember, just because you get rid of the pain don't mean there isn't a cause. See your doctor. Okay, see your doctors. Make sure that there's not something going on that aren't aware of or can't. That exists too. Don't scare you. Modern science can be very helpful. Um, hmm. So anyway, I focused on it, paid attention to every nuance. When is it coming? When is it going? What is its intensity? I not that the thinking was, but I'm paying attention. I'm watching it. I'm the watcher, and that was helping a little. And I added to that um, playing with sound. Oh, la bloody she did not. She resonating with the her, getting on the same frequency. Uh, then using a little music used in the same way. Vibration, very helpful. Helpful. And then on the expression side, a lot of times from this, you want to breathe. It takes energy, feeling. Breathe in deeply. I breathed in, out. Ah, oh, mm, oh. I can do that. That's a shiver. It's oxygen starvation in the womb. If I was going to speculate, still, still getting a nice consistent distance healing for that. But yeah. So, and then from that point, went into the language, and I asked the caring, which artist and to help, kind of like a prayer, isn't it? You know, without the superstition. But I just said, you know, help me. And then I connected to it with a kind of compassionate song expression. Then, yes, I will. So now I'm going to end this presentation. I hope that you have enjoyed it. If you have, maybe if you already knew these things, it was boring. I'm sorry. But if you like it and you want to help spread love around the world and join our team, that would be great. Need a lot of help. And yeah, please subscribe. That helps us a lot. It doesn't cost you anything. And comment of your comments. The other team players are kind of more in the background, right? We all have limited time. I happen to have more time. So you see in my face a lot. I'm really getting tired of being the face of the channel. It's really a movement, not about me. But you do what you can, right? So yeah. So subscribe. Be sure and share any videos that you helpful. No. And comments, like I said, wonderful. We love to see those, and like the videos that you like. Let us know. Oh, nobody liked this one. That's helpful. So you want to kid or tease or make fun. Everything helps the channel. So thank you for your time. You watch this whole thing. Oh, bless you. You have great patience and wisdom, I think. Could use your help. So have a wonderful day. Until next time.